Hey, how you doing? It's Tom Pease back again for another video, and today we're gonna get real deep into this pension motherfucking apocalypse that I really think is gonna bring down the U.S. economy. Um, Everybody's kind of been looking for the straw that breaks the camel's back, and right now I think I found it. I think it's this pension unfunded liability that's gonna destroy everything. So, with that being said, let's get right into the video. All right. With the state pension plans, the issue is that they're not required to report their funding level. They haven't really reported anything since 2015. This is state and local funding. But the 2015 levels, well, actually I have numbers from 2011. Right, and then I have numbers from 2015 for total. So I'm basically going to break down good states and bad states. You know what I mean? I got three of them right here. Connecticut is 50% funded. This is in 2007. It had 19 million needed. It had 19 million funded and 34 million needed. And that's in 2007. By 2011, it had 22 million funded and 44 million needed. Illinois, as we all know, that's a fucking mess right now. 2007, it was 70 million was funded, 112 million was needed. By 2011, it was 63 million was funded and 146 million was needed. That's a 43% funded level. And Delaware is a better state. It had 6.8 million was funded and 6.7 needed. 6.7 million was needed, so it was overfunded. It was at 105%, which is real positive. And in 2011, it was 7.4 million and 8.2 was needed. So everything was on the downturn at that point. But all funds at this point are losing percentages because they're not seeing the returns that they want. But the truth is hard to come by with these funds. It's things they don't have to tell you the truth. They don't have to tell you anything. That's kind of the situation. The pensions are assuming that they're going to get 7 to 8% returns year over year, and that's how they're going to fund out the next 10 years. So if they have, say, $50,000 and have $100,000 that they need, they assume it's good because in 10 years, 7 to 8% year over year will double their money in with the APR in fucking 10 years. But they're not getting that. They're only getting like 1 to 2% returns every year. So we have really no idea how bad shit really is. 2015 was the last year numbers available. We had 3.8 trillion owed and 1.3 trillion unfunded. That's from the Pension Society of America or some nonsense like that. It's like the lobbying group for the pensioners or whatever, right? And that's just state and local governments, and this is from the Hoover Institute. The numbers I got above were from the Washington Post. The reporting with the numbers of predicted returns over 10 years is 7.5%. Yeah. Even if they froze them even if they froze the levels at today's funding levels, all right. The truth is they're closer to 3.8 trillion unfunded pensions. All right. We'll put it in perspective. All of the United States college loan debt that everybody's really bitching about, that he thinks is a huge bubble, it's only $1.4 trillion. And fucking people are making payments on that. 3.8 fucking trillion dollars. I'll give you an even better. The US GDP is 18.5 trillion. That's all of the goods shipped and sold, and all the money made in the United States in a year is 18.5 trillion. 3.8 trillion dollars. It's like 30% of that. 3 times 3? No, it's not 30%. It's like 15% of the whole fucking GDP. It's only 3.25 trillion in total tax revenue last year in the entire federal fucking government. 3.25 trillion, and they're talking 3.8 trillion in unfunded pensions. That's the actual fucking numbers. Once you start factoring the fact that they only have fucking 2% returns and they only have 50% of the fucking money that they really actually need. So all that nonsense about how, they're 50% fucking funded, bullshit. They're only 25% fucking funded. things are much worse than that. This is only a state level. This don't count the federal workers or the corporate fucking shit that they're on the hook for. Because you remember, got on Bethlehem Steel fucking pensions and the fucking Conway pensions from the fucking rail yard, from the railroad back in the day. There's a lot of stuff, that's involved in all this. And this is why I think it will cause the collapse. I gotta scroll down because I wrote all this nonsense out. Right? I took some time to try to prepare this a little bit for you. If they try to say that they're not gonna fucking pay the people what they're owed, there'll be civil unrest. Municipal bonds, the whole municipal bond market will fail. Because this is probably 40% of the fucking municipal bonds. The whole of the bond market will probably collapse. People will lose their fucking houses. There'll be no property tax to pay for a bailout. There'll be no property tax to pay for schools, which will make education worse. Even if they try to cut revenues, which I don't think that the politicians see as a viable option, because no fucking politician is going to tell old people you're not going to have any fucking money. If they try to tell them that they're going to cut the revenues, if they cut down the amount of pensions they're going to get, they're still going to have people lose houses. People are going to spend less money, and they'll still sink the fucking economy. Truly, inflation from a bailout will destroy the economy. If they do decide to bail out this fucking shit, it will destroy the economy. Because the amount of money needed to shore up this system is $2-3 trillion fucking dollars, and there's no fucking way that they're going to have that much money to throw at this problem. They just don't have it, at least not in one shot, and they're not going to have it long term either. You know what I mean? Like there's not enough money to bail all this shit out. And that if they try to do it, the inflation will sink it all. They print this much fucking money again, none of us will be able to afford to live. It'll be a fucking Zimbabwe type of situation. And you gotta remember, a lot of people who hold these fucking bonds are fucking overseas, Chinese, fucking Russian, fucking African, whatever the case might be. India, Saudi Arabia. I think this may destroy the U.S. economy. But the good news is, once it's all over with, you can start over fresh and everything will be good. So, don't lose hope. But if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy the content, do me a favor. Give me a like, give me a subscription. Share it wherever you want, man. It's free reign. Alright? No copyright on this. Well, my love. It's time. Peace.